Welcome to this video looking at iPhone, Galaxy, Samsung, and the Canon R6 Mark II. Let's take a look at which one does better in our lighthouse test. So this summer I was on vacation at the most photographed lighthouse in the world, the Port City Lighthouse, and I was having fun using my wife's iPhone and my brother-in-law's Samsung Galaxy, the S24 and the iPhone 15. So I also was having fun with my R6, which I gave to my kids, the R6 Mark II from Canon, and I let them shoot pictures, so it was a little more fair between just an average person shooting the camera than a person who knew what they're doing with the mirrorless camera. So what we got in terms of results are actually kind of fascinating. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the different lighthouse shots. What we have here is the Canon camera compared to a similar version of the iPhone camera, looking pretty good. The colors were extra rich, extra blue, I thought, with the iPhones compared to some of the Samsung pictures. But if you shot wide or if you shot tight, it did seem to make a difference. Now this is shot by amateurs, not knowing necessarily exactly how to control the cameras, using some of the presets on the phone and in the camera. And so my kids are able to shoot. As you can see pictures of them shooting pictures. They enjoyed it. I enjoyed teaching them about photography, just as I enjoy teaching you anywhere in the world through YouTube about photography. And what I was able to get was pretty fascinating. So here's a shot of comparable size, shot unedited from my kids with the R6 Mark II. Here's what I had to edit to make it brighter, comparable. So it took a little bit of work. Now, a camera phone is going to do a lot of those edit choices on the fly. It's going to do those changes for you. So what I have here is the Canon, or the iPhone version. And I did some edits as well. Here's the edited version of the iPhone, and here's the original. So it looks pretty good in capture. I think in capture mode, I would say obviously it looks better than the mirrorless for sure. In terms of the Samsung camera, comparable wide shot. This is the Samsung. Has definitely a warmer color cast. I don't think the colors are definitely as blue, and these are shot probably within a few minutes of each other, so it's pretty similar lighting along the way in comparable aspects. Not right away, but within a pretty short period of time. See, there's more haze in the sky, and here it actually captured a lot more blue. I was kind of surprised. In a matter of a few minutes, it shouldn't have that much change. And it did make a pretty significant difference in the sky between the Samsung and the iPhone. The color processing, the way to add in details, I guess, computational photography. Your guess is as good as mine, and I'm happy to have a discussion with you on some of these different avenues. Now, the phone's all automatic settings, and shoot wide or tight, it makes a difference because wider, I guess, shows the clouds more a little bit along the way. So we have this shot here. The iPhone, let's look at the iPhone unedited in comparison. The iPhone's colors are richer, bluer tones there. I think the way it processes the shadows, there's a little bit more darkness in the shadows, but I like the colors represented in the iPhone better. In comparison to the Canon edited version, pretty comparable. I think the Canon probably, but that also has a lot of manual touches. Using Adobe Camera, I brightened the shadows a little bit, boosted the colors a little bit, turned down the highlights a tear, then bumped up the exposure. And so it's not exactly a complete apples to apples comparison as well. I'd say the colors are richer, more blue, more vibrant, I would say, in the iPhone, which, remember, is the unedited version. If I go to the edited version, let me go ahead and pull up the edited version between them. The Samsung edited and the iPhone edited. And I would say that probably the iPhone, which I'm not an iPhone lover. I can say I hate an iPhone a lot. Sometimes just give my iPhone friends a hard time. If you like iPhones, go ahead and comment that. That's fine. But if you prefer something else, that's great. I prefer something else. But I have to say the iPhone actually looks pretty good here, which I'm not actually sure what to think, except for the iPhone did some pretty incredible colors. So if you like shooting iPhones, great. If not, that's fine too. But the iPhone, the rich blue colors are pretty vibrant there. The Canon, you can see by the cloud cover, wasn't very much different in time at all. And the Canon doesn't have some of the vibrancy. Now, could I get there? Sure, I probably could boost some saturation, but I'm going to lose some of the details. And the key here is convenience. The iPhone, you take a picture. The Galaxy, you take the picture, and it does a lot of that processing for you. In the other ones, you got to shoot, you got to edit, you got to process. Again, it was underexposed a little bit in Canon, so that does make a difference as well. But I was kind of surprised in the overall aspect. I did take this picture, which I moved a little more to the left, maybe 50 yards, and I liked this composition a little bit better, which I thought was interesting, using my own creative judgment. Shot a little bit dark, the vibration. This was my favorite picture. I didn't get that in the other version. So the Canon to icon comparison is interesting along the way. Now let's look at the pixels a little bit closer. Between the edited version, this is the Canon, which has a little more megapixel. You see the quality looks pretty good, pretty sharp on that one. If I go ahead and look at the iPhone edited version, I don't have quite the resolution of the setting of the camera, and I can see it has not quite some of the crisp sharpness. I'm not getting some of the fine details, I suppose, on the rocks along the way. And you can decide which one you like in that regard. But in terms of a small picture, I'm impressed. The cell phones are getting better and better, and this Galaxy definitely losing some of the. Actually, I think the Galaxy is sharper than the iPhone. I'm not thinking it's as good as the Mirrorless, but I think it is a little bit sharper in that regard. In terms of iPhone to Samsung, Gallery gets the sharpness test in all things comparisons. Put a comment below of which camera phone you would like and why. And do you prefer a mirrorless camera, or do you like having the camera in your hand at all times?